Welcome to the Cap Builder Talk radio show with your host, small business expert, Mark Parham. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business and our community today. Join us every Monday evening starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To be a guest or for more information, go to capbuildertalk.com. Post comments on facebook.com/Cap Builder Network. Enjoy the show.
Hey, good evening. It's Mark Parham, Cap Builder Talk Show. Real talk with real people talking about real issues facing small business in our community. I'm here every week trying to help you build the capacity to change your life. I want to thank you for joining me today. Got a quick segment. Got one guest on, but it's a powerful guest. You know, I was called by my man, Sylvester Ford. He said, Mark, we got to have her on. We got to get her showing. She got a great event coming up. I'm going to bring Miss Shaw on here in a minute. I'm going to show you what we're going to be talking about tonight. And this is Miss Shaw, Ariel Shaw. Women supporting women. There are a lot of things going on here in Atlanta right now, and it all has to do with small business, and it all has to do with women. You know, I made the mistake earlier of telling them women are starting to, she was like, what do you mean started? We've been doing it. I said, all right. But I'm going to bring Miss Shaw in a little bit. We're going to have a great conversation about women supporting women in Atlanta and the organization that she's responsible for that's helping small businesses. She got a great event coming up. But I'm going to be here. I just want to talk to you about what's going on in Atlanta. There are a lot of events. Just this time of the year, you need to start paying attention to what's going on because people are holding events. We're out of COVID. We're back in the streets, but you need to get out there and start networking because that's where you're meeting people. That's where you're going to grow your business. That's where you're going to grow your organization. You know, you got to get out there. Yeah, we do a lot of digital marketing. We post social media, but nothing beats meeting people in person. So you really have to get out there. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to come back and I'm going to talk about an event that you're going to be able to get out there too. But right now I'm going to go to break real quick and I'll be back. And when I come back, I'm going to bring in Ms. Shaw. And we're going to have a conversation about how she's been helping businesses, her organization, and an event she has coming up. I'll be right back.
Nearly half the adults in America have high blood pressure. But because it develops slowly over time, many don't even know they have the condition. The only way to know your blood pressure for sure is by testing it with the American Heart Association's guidelines. There are two numbers in a blood pressure reading. The top number measures systolic pressure, or the maximum pressure your heart exerts while beating. The bottom number is the diastolic pressure, which is the amount of pressure in your arteries between beats. A normal blood pressure reading is anything under 120/80. If your blood pressure is higher than that, have a conversation with your doctor. If your numbers are ever over 180/120, consult your doctor immediately. There are some things you can't change that can increase your risk for developing high blood pressure, including family history, age, and race. But it can be successfully managed through lifestyle changes and medications. To keep your blood pressure in a healthy range, eat a well-balanced diet that's low in sodium. Exercise regularly. Lose weight. Quit smoking, drink less alcohol, and manage stress. By knowing your numbers and working with your doctor, you can lower your blood pressure and lead a healthier life.
All right, I'm back. You know, I play a lot of PSAs because our health and wellness is so important. But now I'm going to be talking the health and wellness of our business, you know, because first I'm going to bring in what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to bring her into the stream. And, well, hey there, Miss Shaw. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Why don't you introduce yourself so everyone knows who you are?
I am Ariel Shaw. I'm founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business. We're a conglomerate of women in business and women-owned businesses and what we've identified as the Southern Crescent region. We've expanded into North Metro, so we can't leave our northern folks out, but we are primarily in the Southern Crescent region.
So what do you call the Southern Crescent region?
So what we call the Southern Crescent region is pretty much south of Atlanta, which includes Henry County, Clayton County, portions of DeKalb, Fayette County. Our counties traditionally, specifically probably more Henry and Fayette, have been bedroom communities. So they've been kind of closed, for lack of a better way of saying that. Well, that is changing. It's shifting. Definitely we want to just make sure we're highlighting areas that traditionally haven't been highlighted.
All right. Speaking of highlight, I'm going to bring up something here. I was doing your bio and I looked at you. So you founded this organization, huh?
I did.
So tell me about that. Why did you found it?
So, started the organization, one, because we really wanted to establish a professional network of women on the south side of Atlanta. I served in an incubator board, and even though we have chambers, there was not a clear, defined small business community for what was needed to support small businesses. In addition to that, we didn't want to go to Atlanta and Buckhead for everything. So we wanted to make sure that we could do business successfully with people in our own region.
So I'm going to bring up this slide here. I had some questions for you. We were talking about some of the issues that women are facing in small businesses today. And I did some research, and these are the ones that came up. So let's talk about, just from your viewpoint, I want to touch on each of these and just see how deep we can get and what you feel about, are these the top 4 that you would consider, or are there more?
I'm definitely going to agree with one. So one of our criterias and our platforms with the organization is access to capital. I mean, funding. We have hosted a funding pitch for the last several years. A part of our conference this year, of course, is going to include our funding pitch. The funding pitch traditionally has stood alone by itself as its own event, but not this year. We're including it with the full business conference. So access to capital is definitely and has been an issue for quite a while as it relates to women in business. Statistics show we get 1% of funding. And it's really unacceptable. I have worked with our state legislators to draft legislation to incentivize investing in women-owned businesses. Our conference includes an access to capital panel, which has several bankers. It has a CDFI on there. It has someone that can help you actually create funds, which is where you saw a little bit of a shift happen after what you call the social justice period, which is really after the George Floyd moment. We all saw, those who understand the industry, there was a major wealth shift. And you had a lot of the larger corporations saying, how can we assist, minority-owned businesses? So what you saw was a pop-up of all these venture capital funds, or these sort of funds where you could put dollars in. A lot of those dollars didn't necessarily come directly from a corporation to the small business, but they went to the fund that then funded the small business. So that actually has grown in years, and it's definitely something we haven't seen definitely before the social justice, because that's what they're calling it, era. But it slowed down a bit. The tides are shifting. I don't know where it's going to be, but definitely access to capital is still just one of those areas.
So I had 3 other things out there, and you said you'll go with number 1. Now, everybody wants to come to Atlanta. Atlanta's going on. Atlanta's hot and everything. So from a woman in business standpoint in Atlanta, what's your observation of what's happening in
I
Atlanta?
love Atlanta.
Yeah.
I do. And I say that because I think we have a level of excellence that is unmatched. I think everyone, although we're south of Atlanta, we still are a part of the Atlanta metro region. And when it says you're too busy to hate, I really feel like that's our motto. I feel like everyone is working towards something, and there's just a lot of opportunity if you apply yourself, and you do have to network. That is a
You know, I was talking about that earlier. Not networking online, but networking in person.
no, that is Atlanta. Well, you will not make it in Atlanta if you don't get out.
Yeah, you will not. I try to tell people that. Everybody comes to me, worried about their social media and blogging, and I was like, if you're in the A, you need to get out there because
Yeah.
you got to go to events.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's so great about. We're going to talk about the event that you have coming up, but a couple questions that I have. So, how does your organization help women in business?
So, Southern Crescent Women in Business, again, we have several tenants. One of those tenants, again, are supporting women in business, funding women in business. We do the education piece, so we have training. We also do, of course, the access to capital and advocacy. So, we're talking to the legislators. We're seeing, matter of fact, one of the legislators called me last week and said, "Hey, I need to know how this is going to affect us."
Wow,
Right. Yeah.
that's a
And so,
lot of.
I've been invited in rooms just because of, and I'm always thinking of women in business. And so it's a lot. And I mean, we're super proud to, just continue that support. A lot of things happen behind the scene that a lot of people don't realize, just like that conversation just, recently. A lot of people don't realize, that we're still advocating for them behind the scene. They may not
Mhm.
know about it right up front, but there are a lot of things, because when stuff start dropping down from that state or even federal, they're like, sometimes it's a little too late. So actually, this particular thing has a federal and state component. So it's very important for people like myself to be in the room.
So, how do people get involved, or I guess I should say, how do women get involved in your organization?
So we have a membership based organization. We have about 3 levels of membership, but you do not have to be a member to participate in events. Membership comes with a whole lot of stuff. We have a media platform. We have a magazine in Barnes and Nobles.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow. You have a magazine?
we do. Southern Crescent
Wow,
Women in Business.
wow. All right.
Yes, yes. So we're, I think, the only publisher on the south side of Atlanta, because I know Atlanta Magazine is in Barnes
Right.
and Nobles, but I don't know any other magazine that's made it into the big box store. So we do a lot, and so those opportunities typically are reserved for our members, but you don't have to be a member to participate in events.
Wow. I had your website up here. I was going through it today, and I see you got a lot of stuff going on. I just think it's great. I want to start talking about the event that you have coming up. I think it's important that I'm going to bring up the graphic for it. So let's talk about what this event is.
So we're celebrating 5 years, and we had been pushed to do a conference for quite a while. Um, as I said before, traditionally we only did our funding pitch, and that itself was its own event. And then, of course, we do a host of other events, and we do a host of trainings. We have a cohort, a whole host of other stuff. Well, we said, okay, why don't we take the pitch and put it a part of a conference and just bring out everything we hear continually that women are dealing with. So we have an access to capital panel. We have a local and federal government panel. We have a procurement panel. We have a faith and wellness panel.
Wow. Wow.
Lord, I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Yeah.
And
I
then
tell
of
you
course,
what, you ain't missing anybody in this graphic, because you got everybody in this graphic.
and we have a wealth panel because combined those women have collectively done about $1 billion in business.
Wow.
So when I tell you we were very intentional about making sure who was in the room, we were. We have a partnership with SBA. So SBA is one of our partners. We signed an agreement with them, I think November, I think last year. I don't even remember. It's been so long. We've been working with them for a while, but we put some ink, to the paper. And so of course SBA will be there. We have GSA, which is, one of the largest contracting vehicles in the entire United States and its territories. We have a representative from there. We have, again, our Access to Capital panel, which we are now a partner with Access to Capital for Entrepreneurs, which is a CDFI.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. Been there
Yeah,
on Thursday.
and so they exist because they're kind of that middleman in between the bank,
right,
where you can typically get at more accessible, I should say, access to capital than you can with a traditional lender. Because I saw that on your list as well.
Yeah,
So CDFIs matter, and CDFIs are definitely important. Again, we have Darshawn Kendrick, and a lot of people might know her as a state representative, but she's also an attorney who also will, work with you and help you talk and deal with and set up funds. Lord Jesus, we got so many people.
I mean, look at this graphic you said. I was like, wow.
And I have to say, our silver sponsor is
there's a brother there. Okay, there's one brother there.
Well, that's our mayor. We got two. So we got Mayor Ford, because he's one of our funding pitch judges, and he's been one for probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. And we have Fayette County Procurement Department, and I don't think Fayette County traditionally has ever participated in anything. So when I say they've been that, those bedroom communities, but we live, we work, we play in these areas. So how do we get access to those contracts in those areas? Georgia Department of Transportation is there, their DBE MMIP office, because they want to assist in making sure more minority-owned businesses are getting DBE certified, because they need to get access to, a lot of these contracts, that's been authorized, and these fundings that come from, the U.S. Department. The U.S. Department of Transportation. We got some thunder going on.
Yeah, I tell you what, I won't keep you much longer then. Tell me this: why would I want to come to this conference? What?
Let me tell you what I think is we have traditionally seen this type of event in Atlanta easily. We don't have that type of talent that's willing to come on the South Side. I've never seen it. I always have to go somewhere in Atlanta to get these types of events. Well, these people, we really want to make sure people understand the type of heavyweights, that's what I'm going to call them, because that's what they are, that are going to be in this room. And I'm also, we couldn't have done this without our sponsor. So T&J Industries, they're a utility contractor. Ms. Kenya Simmons, she's actually on the wealth panel, but she also came in then after she was on the wealth panel as one of our top sponsors. She is, I think, the first or either only African-American woman that serves in her role. And you don't even have a lot of women that have been in that space. No, and that's how she's been able to do so well. We also have City of Stockbridge, Mayor Ford as a sponsor, Extreme Fun on Wheels. We have Sherry Denard, Tamika Isaac Divine, and Vonnie in the city. But we're just super excited about this event, and I do want to mention we have a gala that happens at 5 o'clock that evening.
Say gala.
You don't even have the flyer for that, but you know, the gala.
Are we talking about black tie gala?
Well, it's a wearable arts gala. It's the first that I've ever seen. Outside of, I believe, I've only seen Beyonce do one, but you know, we wanted to bring something different on the South Side. And again, the evening concludes with the Wearable Arts Gala, an awards event, and we're just super excited to host this event. You can find out more about the event and also register at scwibga.org, or you can go directly to Eventbrite and put in SCWIB and it'll pop right up.
Yeah, it popped right up. I did it earlier. I tell you what, it looks like it's going to be a great event. Now, can men sneak in the room? Can they come?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to know a little password or anything?
No. So the thing is, you know, you can definitely be in the room. It's definitely a room that's open for everyone. You like I said, we have so many opportunities for procurement. I would encourage the men to be in the room to have that conversation because again, we want to make sure all minority small businesses are getting access to these contracting opportunities, and all small businesses, period. So, you know, definitely come in. Everyone is welcome.
I'm gonna play. You sent me a link to a video for your promo. I'm gonna play that, then we'll wrap up after I play this. We'll come back.
Okay.
Be right back. There, like something I need to be at, but
Absolutely, you're more than welcome to come.
So yeah, I'm probably gonna send this out tomorrow so that everybody can attend it. But you know, I just think it's great because you know, I travel around, I go to a lot of different places, and organizations like this don't exist everywhere. You know, and I tell you what's really important. The thing that you really understand is that policy is what drives small business. Okay?
Absolutely.
You know, and you have a panel of people, but you have people that affect policy changes, and it's those laws that affect us. And I'm glad you're pushing and getting people to understand that because that's what makes this thing really important. So I'm not going to keep you much longer, but you know, I just want you to put another plug in for the event tomorrow and tell
So on Thursday. It's on August 31st.
That's right. It's on Thursday.
You got a few more days, but it's August 1st. And again, it is the Southern Crescent Women in Business 5th anniversary gala and business conference. Doors open at 8 a.m. for our full business conference. Again, we have local and federal government. We have access to capital. We have a wealth panel. We have procurement panel, and you can go to scwibga.org or go to eventbrite.com and put in SCWIB.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Shaw. I'm sorry, I'm out of town, but if I was in town, I would be there, even if I got to sit in the back. You know.
I appreciate you, Mark.
All right. But congratulations. And I tell you what I'd really like is that maybe on the upcoming show, I'd love to have you and some of your panelists come and talk about how the event was and what you got accomplished and everything like that. I want to welcome you back, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. That was Miss Shaw. You need to check out that event because you got to get involved. As she said, doing it online, doing the digital stuff, it's not working for us. Here in Atlanta, you got to get out there and do it. So this is Mark Parham. I just want to tell you that I'll be back next week. No, next week is Labor Day. But week after that, I'll be back, and I got plenty of great shows planned for you. And I'll see you at our next encounter. Thanks for joining me.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To be a guest or for more information, go to capbuildertalk.com. Please post comments on facebook.com/capbuildertalk. We hope you enjoyed the show.